Both these teams are taking on a very, very interesting game tomorrow. Lucknow take on Mumbai. This is happening in Lucknow. I say interesting because there have been a lot of conversation off the ground when it comes to the pitch yet again. Zach wasn't very happy about the pitch that Lucknow played against Punjab. So it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow on the pitch.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. And I think what happens also is that Zach, as we have seen, we know him very well. He's a very strategic and a tactical person. I think he's put a little bit of pressure on the curators out there, saying that, okay, you know, I don't necessarily need you to make my pitches, but don't make pitches that suit them. And I think it's a good thing for them curators to have that pressure also, because you want pitches that are, you know, fair pitches. But obviously, every game, the game of cricket has always been about having some amount of hometown advantage, and I think there's nothing wrong in asking for that.
I also think it's a really smart move in a certain sense, because that particular franchise is under a lot of scrutiny because of what happened last year. You know, they've not gone off to the best of starts. So this, in a way, is also deflecting a little bit of, you know, the criticism that they might get to, it's wrong for me to say, but the curators won't get as much flack from social media. They will not get as much flack. They'll be like, oh, come on, you can't, like, you know, troll them. The players and the management get a lot of flack. So it's a very clever way of deflecting that flack for a little while. And like you said, it's strategic. So I think it makes sense, because in social media, you'll never troll the curators, because as we all know and we appreciate, they put in a lot of work.
Yes.
They do a lot of hard work to get, you know, the ground ready, the pitch ready. So it's, I think, knowing Zach, as we all do, it's more a way of not really throwing the curators under the bus. It's A, getting a point across, and B, also deflecting a little bit of from the team and the management.
Well, there's one person who's there going to, besides the curator and the pitch, there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on Rishabh Pant. You think is going to be under pressure. We've seen what Venkatesh and Rinku have done, so hopefully tomorrow is his turn.
Yeah, and look, I think Rishabh is a kind of guy who he likes pressure. He likes pressure. He enjoys the pressure. He's the man. Okay, he is, and he considers himself to be that. And he is the kind of character who is very happy to go into a dressing room and tell guys you haven't played well, even though he hasn't played well himself, and he's okay with it, because knows it. So he's somebody who naturally walks into that role. I do not. There are a lot of players who are. Sometimes it pays not to be so introspective, or the way his natural ebullience will carry him through this. So I'm not so worried about Rishabh Pant as a player. I think as a team, their problem was that they built themselves for a bowling attack which was totally Indian, and because Zach being there, they picked some really good ones. You know, they had Arshdeep, they had Avesh, they had so many of them. And then, you know, injuries, Mohsin Khan, and injuries has absolutely decimated them. So I think that is what they're looking at and saying that can we get at least another couple of bowlers back again. Then
for MI, they have finally started their tournament, because they wait for those 1-2 games. We are used to it now. So the third game...
It's a time zone issue, yeah. I mean, they're in the west of the country. Sun rises later, everything.
So now the sun has risen and they have got those first 2 points and comprehensive win against KKR. So they're coming in confident because everything seems to have gone correct for them. That one tick mark every MI an Indian fan wants is Rohit Sharma to fire.
Yeah, because look, I mean, when he fires, it just sets it up nicely for whether it's 50-over cricket or T20 cricket. It just sets it up nicely for the rest of the batters to follow. And they've got such a strong batting unit in terms of power hitting that if Rohit gets going, you'll be talking about this batting unit pretty similarly to what you talk about SRH. You know, I'm not saying that, but it's pretty similar with the likes, you know, with someone like Hardik coming and playing that role at number 5, number 6. Tilak Verma, again, I think, you know, it's a very similar batting unit. So with Rohit getting runs, giving him the start that you know, that he has done in the past, it'll just make things a lot easier for the batters to follow.
We'll have a look at Mumbai's squad. Rohan, any changes for you at all?
Well, look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yes.
You've had a massive win in the last game. Why would you want to change it? The only thing I can think of is, you know, Rohit Sharma has been coming in as an impact player. Maybe get him onto the field if you're if you're fielding first, get him onto the field maybe for 4-5 overs, just for him to get a feel of what's happening on the ground. And also the fact that, Rohit's a leader. When he'll be out there on the ground, and one of the natural traits of leaders and even ex-captains is that even if you're not captaining that particular match, you'll think as a captain.
Correct.
Your juices will start working, and that gets you in the game. You're thinking, oh, maybe get him a little on the left, squarer, finer, do these bowling changes. That'll get his juices going. He'll be in, it won't be coming into bat straight from the cold. So I think maybe get Rohit onto the field if they're fielding first 3-4 overs earlier. Also, when you're out on the field and you're seeing the way the pitch is behaving, is very different from how you see it when you're sitting inside on TV. You get a real first-hand closed view of it, and that also helps when you go out to bat. So maybe that's the one thing.
No, absolutely. I think he has a point to prove when he's there. I think the other one is they have to. I mean, Ashwini's done wonderfully for them, but Vignesh also did really well for them. So, if this pitch takes spin, then expect Vignesh to be back. The interesting thing will be for whom, because I think Ashwini's bowled well enough to almost cement his place there. He bowled beautifully. I mean, so it's interesting. I mean, again, credit to MI that scouts every time. I mean, I used to tell you, when we were in KKR, the one thing I used to always say is that just bid on every young player
that
MI is bidding on.
Well, they clearly have got some skill there with their scouts. We need your skills now to find your players to watch out for tomorrow. One from each team.
Well, I'm going to go with Rohit Sharma because I think a lot of eyes will be on him. So I'm going to go with Rohit, and I think he's going to do well from MI. Who would you pick from MI?
You know what? Today is the day because he's been a fantastic player. I'm going to go with Rohit as well. And just for the sake that I think our man needs to,
yes,
the hitman.
It's high time.
The IPL needs the hitman back.
Sorry,
I'm with you. I'm not going
And
to
for LSG, I'm going to go with, again, a lot of eyes on Rishabh Pant. So I'm going to go with Rishabh Pant for LSG.
I just love watching Nicholas Puran play. So he's just such a good player. So I'm going to go with him.